live from the studio.
States, no dirty European connections here. No Skype issues.
Yeah,
this is true.
Fancy technology.
We're in the studio on the fancy floor.
The high-class FTMB studio.
Mm-hmm.
And today, we're talking about maybe the most controversial human being of all time.
I think you're right. I
think
it truly is.
An artist, a fashion designer.
Yeah. A lover, a husband.
To you.
A father.
To some people. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about Kanye West today.
Kanye West. And this is a list. Everybody loves lists.
Everyone loves lists these days.
Yeah, if you're not doing a list, why do anything at all, truthfully? So
that's my motto for life.
So we're doing all 8 of Kanye's major album releases. So, and we're ranking them from our most to least favorite. We'll probably start. I don't know how we're gonna structure this, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah,
we're bright lads. So so we're not including any of his side projects or his collaboration stuff.
Yeah, not necessarily things that he's produced. These are his own,
like major studio releases.
Solo Kanye West releases.
So, as we always do, though, we must thank our beer for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a Columbus local, Seventh Sun Brewery. Check them out if you're able to. But this is the Glean No Coast IPA. 7.8 or 7.9% ABV, and it comes in like a limited time edition, like
this is
one
very
pint.
Artsy.
Yeah, they've been Seventh Sun has been doing these like kind of 1 pint cans for a while now.
Yeah,
with
I like it.
Unique artwork.
Mm-hmm. Solid.
Mm-hmm.
Why'd you choose this one?
So this was, I think we did it in a previous podcast, the Long Trail Brewing IPA that they did.
Yeah.
And that was like our favorite at a beer convention that we went to.
Mm-hmm.
But when we finally ended up getting it, not from the vendor,
it wasn't quite the same.
It wasn't the same. And then I had this like a couple of weeks ago, and it like tasted like how I remembered that Long Trail one tasting. So I wanted to introduce Matt to it now that he's back. And what do you think? Do you think it tastes like that at all?
It's interesting. It does have elements of it for sure.
It's like kind of piney. Again, it has it's like a hybrid IPA, or like West Coast hybrid IPA.
They call it No Coast because it's not East Coast, it's not West Coast, it's No Coast.
Yeah, it's Midwest Coast.
Midwest Coast. Yeah, it has those elements for sure. Piney and fresh, but also a little bit fruity and tangy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, very pleasant.
Mm-hmm. A good summer beer.
Yeah, pick one up, drink it in the summer.
Pair it with herb roasted leg of lamb, tacos al pastor, or aged Gouda.
Yeah, do that.
Or all 3 at the same time.
As recommended.
Yeah. Okay, anything else you want to say about the beer?
Got nothing else on the beer.
Alright, let's get into it, baby. Woo!
Embrace debate.
Yeah.
I'm good. So for the listeners, I'm going to defeat Riley and tell him why my list is the best list.
No. For all you listeners, when you hear us starting to fight, call 911.
I don't know if you can say that. It sounds dangerous. What do you want to do? Do you want to start with our least favorite?
Let's go least, because I think that will be the most controversial, and then I think we kind of converge maybe towards the end.
Mm-hmm. True.
So
you go first.
Yeah, and I will say that Matt and I, we're pretty different, I think, on our list. I can't remember what yours was anymore.
Yeah. Take a look.
Yeah.
I have it right here.
Yeah, not too different, really.
Not vastly different, as you.
I think we just really disagree on one major album, then, which is my number 8. And what was Life of Pablo for you?
My number 4.
Oh, okay. I guess it's a little different.
Yeah,
but still 8 versus
top half.
Top half versus bottom. So let's talk about Life of Pablo. Why do you rate it so highly? What do you see or like about it that...
Well, I'll first admit some of the flaws of the album.
Okay.
So it is admittedly not one of his most cohesive projects. Mm-hmm. It is scattered, no doubt. There isn't like a feeling of perfect flow like a river, like some of his best work.
Yeah, that's what I would say about it, is that it doesn't have a real like theme or like thread that runs through the entire thing that connects it all. Like
that's
like
true.
his other albums do. I felt like a bunch of singles and songs just kind of mashed together to me.
Yeah, I will concede that point. Mm-hmm. However, I think this comes down to maybe just our, in general, like album appreciation philosophies. Mm-hmm. I think the high points in the Life of Pablo really stick to me. They vividly recall kind of the feelings and the imagery and kind of the summer vibes that I got initially from that album when I re-listened to it.
So it was more of like a personal, like where you were at life and how you were feeling.
I think, that's definitely. I think that's definitely a huge part of like any album.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, is the personal aspect. Mm-hmm. But I think the production is like really great on some songs, like, and sometimes it's lacking, but I think overall, like, it is actually a really great project, despite not having, as you were saying, a consistent theme or one thing really tying it together. I think his features on there are, he pulled together, like, Chance the Rapper and did some really cool stuff, brought in Kendrick and Rihanna.
I'll say, like, there are some, like, Ultralight Beam is, like, probably one of my favorite Kanye songs for sure. So there definitely are great singles on it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm trying to say is, like, for me, the high points in an album can overcome flaws where it's not, like, so cohesive and perfectly coordinated everywhere.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing that you brought up about how, like, you like a lot because of the summer that you listened to it, or, like, how you were, like, the feelings it gave you. And it's always interesting to go back, like, if you, like, for me, I hated this album, and I was in a different headspace, a different place in my life.
Yeah.
2-3 years ago when this came out. And maybe that Riley didn't like it, but he's not here to, like, defend that anymore. And maybe me now could go and listen to it again and be like, oh, you know, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's possible.
Even though I think I did listen to it for our best of 2016.
Yeah.
Recap, because I think was that your favorite album?
That was my number 3.
It was number 3. Okay. Yeah.
And it didn't really resonate with you all that much more than from what I remember.
But that's 2 years ago now, so to a year and a half ago.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think you're still going to see the same kind of flaws that you had that you've already mentioned with it, but
it's just a little bloated. There's not that thematic element that kind of ties it all together. Yeah, and some of the songs I just don't think are that good either on it. Yeah, whereas like something like, I feel like College Dropout, every song is a 10 or like a 9.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, but I guess actually, you know, I think we may have jumped the gun. We may want to actually just read our list off.
Just
so we know what we're talking about.
Okay, sure.
So, you want to go first?
Finish your list since you started.
Okay, so The Life of Pablo was my number 8. 7 was Yeezus. 6, 808s and Heartbreak. 5 is Graduation. 4, the newly released Yay. Number 3, Late Registration. 2, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And number 1 is College Dropout.
In my list, at number 8, I have 808s and Heartbreaks. Number 7, Yeezus. 6, Yay. 5, Late Registration. 4, T-Lop. 3, College Dropout. 2, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Number 1, Graduation.
Yeah, I think that's one that we'll have some difference.
And here's why I'm right. Coming up next.
Stay glued to those seats, folks. Now here's a commercial break.
All right.
And we're back.
808s and Heartbreaks.
So this is your number 7?
This is my bottom of the list.
Oh, your bottom
808s.
List. Okay.
Not a huge fan. It's just not, like, I appreciate what Kanye was doing with it.
Yeah, in many ways, he was kind of ahead of his time.
Yeah, he kind of created Drake with that album. Like, he paved a completely different direction for hip-hop music in general that a lot of other rappers have taken up. Yeah. But I still don't have to like it.
Yeah, exactly. And there are a lot of the songs on there, like, suck.
Yes,
like,
I hate them.
like the production is interesting, and yeah, like the ripple effect that it had, and kind of the landscape of like hip hop music now is definitely reflective of that. But yeah, that doesn't mean that it's something to be praised and cherished and stuff.
I like the song "Amazing" from that album, and honestly, that's pretty much all I can listen to.
Yeah.
Like,
what about "Heartless"? Is that's on
Heartless? I can listen to. Yes, yeah, I like that one as well. But pretty much the rest of the album is.
Yeah, some people do you like RoboCop? I think that people like that song, but I think it's like horrible. Yeah, that's why I put 808s as my number 6, because I do give it points for, it was like a huge experiment for Kanye to do.
If I'm trying to grade it, I guess like objectively, which I'm not in this list, even though my list is superior to yours. I think part of my grading rubric would be risk and taking risk and doing something ballsy and doing something different or more experimental. And yes, 808s would get points if I was looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, so that's why, I mean, I will, like, when we get into my number 7, like I'll kind of speak to why it came as number 6, 808s.
Do you want to just get into number 7?
Yeah, let's do number 7 now. Yeezus. What was that on your list?
Number 7 for me as well.
Okay.
We are aligned.
We are aligned. All right. I'm feeling our chakras, like, really well right now.
All right. We'll cut that out. This was also pretty experimental, I think.
Yeah, but I feel like it was like not enough. Like, he didn't go off the deep end enough with it.
I have a semi-spicy take about it. I think people think it was super experimental, and I think those people are just dead wrong.
Yeah, I think that's like Baby's first experimental album.
He just took a lot of stuff from what was already happening in electronic music. Like, at that time, I was listening to almost exclusively electronic music.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I was completely into the scene, and if you go, he was just taking what Hudson and Mohawk were doing. Hudson and Mohawk were doing, like, just kind of like stripped a lot of the stuff that was already happening. It wasn't really new, groundbreaking stuff that he was doing.
And for me, I was listening to like Death Grips a lot of the time, and they just essentially did Yeezus, but like harder and more abrasive and actually experimental. And not to say like an album has to be that crazy for it to be a good like electronic or like experimental hip hop album, but it was like that's kind of like what I wanted from my experimental hip hop, and it just seemed a little watered down.
Yeah. But overall, I think he delivered a decent album. I mean,
there's some good bangers on there, for sure.
For sure. I like Hold My Liquor. That's cool. Bound 2 is an interesting song.
I really liked Bound 2 when it came out, but now I cannot even listen to it.
I know, just the music video.
It annoys me. Yeah. The music video is pretty funny. It's kind of, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's the song? Like Black Skinhead. And
I like Blood on the Leaves.
Blood on the Leaves is really good.
Yeah.
So there are definitely some great songs. What's the one that goes like...
We'll drop that in there.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Because I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it. The name.
Send It Up. He's like riding around on his bodyguard's back like Prince in the club. Like, there's some really funny lines in that one. I like Kanye's lyricism for that song. Anything else about Yeezus?
No, I mean,
okay.
I mean, some people are much higher on it than me, I think, but for reasons that I've already stated, it didn't really blow me away at the time, and it still doesn't grip me.
We're gonna take a pause here. Can we make sure that even though the screen went it's still recording. Okay, small technical break there. What was your number 6, Matt?
My number 6 was Yay.
Yay. All right. Yay. Yay. That was my number 4. I actually really liked Yay.
Yeah.
When it came out. And, like, it would have been higher if I didn't already love my top 3, like, for a long time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
So what do
you want to talk? So should we really get into that one? Why did you like it so much?
So I liked Yay kind of for the reasons I didn't like The Life of Pablo. I felt like it was super focused.
Yeah.
It's short, sweet, and to the point. It's like the opposite of Life of Pablo, which was like bloated all over the place, trying a ton of different things. This was like a fast path to like exactly what Ye was trying to do there.
Yeah.
And I think some of the songs on there are the more like open and real and like the inner Kanye that we've seen, that we used to see on like his first couple albums.
That's true.
What's really going on, not like the grandiose, crazy superstar Kanye.
I also like that Kanye though.
You do?
I mean, yeah.
I think I was getting a little sick of it though. Like
it can be a bit much. I mean, especially when you see it in the media and whatever, and he's everywhere. Mm-hmm. It can be almost nauseating. But I just like I like the idea of his grandeur and just him being a god, comparing himself to a god. Like, I think it's like master trolling on Kanye's part. I appreciate it. For that.
I mean, and some people love that ego. They love to hate him because of it.
Yeah.
But this was just refreshing for me. I was not expecting this at all, actually, and that's why it came as a surprise.
Yeah.
I thought it was very sweet and sentimental. In that first song, where he like kind of has that monologue where he's talking about killing, I guess, himself, but he's like, "Today I thought about killing you." That's like, it was like a very hard. Like I listened to that song a ton when it came out. It's super hard hitting, and like pretty. Nobody else like would come out with that song. I feel like nobody else would do that, and the fact that it's Kanye doing it too, makes it even more like crazier, more more impressive, more impactful, because it's like this superstar guy saying like, I'm like very bluntly, I think, talking about wanting to kill himself.
Yeah,
and that's like pretty crazy.
It is crazy. Mm-hmm. And I mean, this one's my 6, but that's not to say that I dislike it. I really enjoy it. Mm-hmm. There's just others that I enjoy more.
Yeah, and it is a very short run time. It's really easy to run through it. And then like I haven't listened to it in a while. Like I got played out for me. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it while it was fresh in my mind, but now I've kind of put it on the back burner. And
I don't see too many of I don't see myself going back to that album frequently. Yeah, like I do for other. Because it
doesn't have like really great hits or like bangers on it. It's I've only really ever listened to it as like an entire thing. Yeah, like if I'm taking a 15 or 20-minute car ride, I'll just like just listen to the entire album. Mm-hmm. But I guess I know we're not talking about his side stuff, but it's kind of hard to talk about Ye without also talking about Kids See Ghosts, his Kid Cudi collaboration that came out like a week later, maybe. Yeah. And definitely very tied into Ye. Did you like that better, or
I liked Ye more?
You liked Ye more than Kids See Ghosts. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I thought it was crazy that Anthony Fantano gave Kids See Ghosts a 10 out of 10. Yeah. I really like it, probably just as much as I like Ye, if not more, but I still don't think it's a perfect.
No,
it was crazy.
I didn't see that. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't grade it as perfect, I guess. But then I think part of it was the production. I mean, on Ye, like the production style was more like old school Kanye. It felt like home, like this is Kanye's wheelhouse. He seemed like he was comfortable creating that kind of music. Kids See Ghosts is a little bit. They're trying different things, and I think that's where you get a lot of the points, because they took risk with it, and they were trying to create something different, and did accomplish that, so...
Yeah. And I think another thing that I liked about it that you brought up, like, it's kind of Kanye's wheelhouse or whatever, there was a lot of, like... It felt like an earlier... Like, it did not feel like a modern, like, rap album. There was like some productions like and sounds on it that sounded like it was from the 2000s.
Yeah,
it was like comforting to me in a way. It was it was warm, especially like now everything is so divisive and kind of filled with sometimes hate or malice and stuff. It was just nice to have this kind of warm, like nostalgic sound to it that brought me back and made me feel like, pretty safe and like in a nice musical space, if that makes sense.
Definitely. And then, so what'd you have next?
So my 5th was your number 1. So.
Ooh, fascinating.
Graduation.
Do we want to get into it? Do you want me to explain to you why you're wrong?
Now's as good a time as any, boy.
Dude, graduation is fucking amazing.
Okay, so yeah, you tell me why.
Because it has the most memorable, best songs. It's maybe the one album with like the best It's like the best collection of songs, like for any one artist, maybe ever.
You think so? That is high praise. That's insane.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, let me pull up the track list here.
Look, here's what I'll concede. There are some true duds on there. Some Barry
Bonds.
Some Barry Bonds. Some Drunk Hot Girls. Actually, that are fucking
You know
duds.
what's funny? I like Drunk and Hot Girls.
Really?
I don't know why. I don't understand why people hate that song. Truthfully,
I hate that song.
I think it's kind of fun.
I skip it. I'm gonna be honest. But the ones that stand out on that album are like the best.
Okay, so
songs.
I'm looking
the
at
best
Kanye
Kanye songs.
now. Good Morning. Champion.
Great.
Stronger.
Great.
I like I Wonder. I think that's a little
underrated. Yeah.
I don't like Good Life that much.
I like Good Life. I maybe like Good Life remixes more than the actual song, but okay. I like Good Life.
Maybe it's just that I'm not a big T-Pain guy.
That's fair.
Can't Tell Me Nothing is a classic, obviously.
Fucking classic.
Then we got the two that must not be named. Barry Bonds, Drunk and Hot Girls. Flashing Lights, great.
Amazing.
Everything. I like Everything
I love that song.
It's a very, like, warm.
It might be one of my favorite Kanye songs.
Yeah. Damn. The Glory, that doesn't stick out to me so much. Homecoming is cool, and Big Brothers is a decent song.
Great. So,
like, I'm not, like, because it's, like, even though this is my 5th on the list, doesn't mean that I don't like it at all. Like, I like this album a lot. But I just,
I would rather have some, like, perfect songs, like, near perfect songs, like, 10 out of 10s than have a bunch of, like, 7s. Each one be a 7. I'm cool, like, the best songs on there bring the score up, and there's so many good ones. Like, he nails so many of them. Like Graduation changed the game, man. Like,
but that's the one. So this is why I think I probably ranked it lower than College Dropout and Late Registration, which it kind of is like a trilogy with.
Yeah,
it's I feel like it's kind of like has a less. Kind of like along the lines of The Life of Pablo, but not to such an extent. But it has like less focus to me.
Less focus, but to me, it's like the culmination of Kanye. It's like the culmination of.
And I guess maybe you could think of it as like in Graduation, like this is like very bombastic, like very very lush and very intense like production on like all these songs, like tons of things. Going on. It's not very stripped down. It's like
production wise, it's like.
Yeah, it's like everything in the kitchen.
Majestic. It's
which maybe is like gorgeous. Graduation, like he's finally like ascended or gotten out. But
I mean, production wise, I feel like it's the height of Kanye.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Did you listen to this when it came out in 2007, or did you listen to this afterwards?
Definitely afterwards. I mean, I had heard songs from
the
it.
Singles.
Yeah, the singles. But as an album, definitely afterwards. I'm not even exactly sure when.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess I should. I think it would be just to kind of inform the listener and you. Like, I really did not like Kanye or listen to him very much until My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy came out, and we started listening to it in college.
Yeah.
Then I went to the library and got every album of his that had been released up to that point and just listened to it over like winter break, and that's like my introduction to the Kanye West discography.
Mine's pretty similar. I mean, I was just familiar with Kanye, but was not like a huge fan by any means until really college, and pretty much the same story.
So I guess nostalgia, and even though freshman year of college is coming up on like 10 years ago,
that's a long time.
So nostalgia may play a factor into it.
Oh, I think it definitely does.
But there wasn't like nostalgia from when we were like 12 or whatever, and
no, like, not like really kid nostalgia for me. No.
Yeah. So this is like we were pretty well into like our musical taste and knowing what we liked when we started liking Kanye. Essentially.
Yeah, that is good background knowledge to know.
But yeah, I do like Graduation a lot. I just I think like the culmination of everything that my albums above it do, I think it does it like better than Graduation.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I totally see if like it depends on what you're looking for, like
right,
what
exactly.
your tastes are in an album.
Exactly, and I kind of would have been able to predict that you would have this one lower than me, just I think based on what we appreciated. In the album.
Like I like concepts and storylines and like cohesion and stuff.
Yeah,
like I value that.
I think that's it's a great element, but I don't put a huge amount of stock into it. Still, for me, it's about the music and how it makes me feel.
Yeah,
so.
which is all it's about, really. Is like if you like something, then you are totally entitled to that opinion.
Yeah,
and any one of like my top 5 could be Kanye's best album, really. Like you can mix and
for sure.
Those.
Yeah, struggled between. Well, for me, between 2 through 5 really was difficult, and I had Late Registration 5.
Okay, so that's interesting to me. That is my number 3, and let me pull up the track list here for that one. Oops, bear with me here, folks.
I think Gold Digger off that album is probably the first Kanye song that I heard, at least that I remember hearing.
I remember hearing. Well, actually, the first Kanye West song that I heard and knew was "Jesus Walks."
That's true. I think you might be right.
And that was on. I saw that like on MTV. It was huge at the time. But I remember Gold Digger. I don't think I knew it was a Kanye song when it came out, because that was when I was like, we were talking about this last night, when I was like only into classic rock. Like,
yeah.
I had like just started
play
playing
guitar. I only like classic rock.
So
it's
like,
the only good music.
Any rap music, not for me. I'm a classic guy. So I wasn't. I think this came out in 2005. Okay. So we were like in 7th or 8th grade, and like that was like. Yeah, this was just not on my radar at the time. Yeah,
I just remember hearing it on the radio. I'm like, oh, this is cool, and not thinking much else of it.
Yeah. But, so different from Graduation, like, late Registration, other than, like, Gold Digger, and that, okay, so basically Gold Digger is the only huge single off of that album.
Huge one.
But, like, all like as a culmination of everything on this album together, it's like I feel like it's more of kind of like a statement of sorts. Like you have that really lush, like kind of Baroque strings and everything like, in the production, which is unique. Like I gave it points for being unique as far as like production goes, especially coming off of like College Dropout. He really kind of switched up how he does things. Like it's so different. The production in Late Registration is so different from College Dropout.
Yeah, definitely took risks.
Yeah, it's like a delicious, like fine wine. I feel like is like listening to this album to me.
Oh, you're so classy.
I feel like this is like a classy album. Like and I take album art like pretty seriously. Like I enjoy it. Like I think a good art, like a good album cover, can really like set the mood for an album, and I think this one has some really great artwork, because you have like the old wooden doors and I don't know if you've seen it recently, and like kind of the columns, and it looks like like kind of like a beautiful library, like at like Harvard or some shit.
Yeah,
and,
very old library.
Yeah, it's like where fancy people would be congregating and stuff, and like listening to this kind of string music. I don't know. It's like the aesthetic of this album is really.
And didn't he do like some live performances with the full band, like everyone dressed up very nicely?
Oh, maybe that'd be interesting. I'd have to see that.
That's just off the top of my head, so I might be wrong, but I thought maybe I've seen that before. But Graduation's cover art is amazing too. It's so iconic.
But yeah, and you're right. So that sets, I think all of, I can't really say all of Kanye's artwork does the album justice. But yeah, I think Graduation fits the feel of Graduation well.
It does, for sure.
But yeah, and I some of the songs on here I'd love to just like Drive Slow. Such a great song. Let me see.
Touch the Sky.
Yeah, Touch the Sky.
We Major.
Yeah, We Major is awesome. Late is great. Hey Mama. Like I think there's not, unlike Graduation, I feel like there's not really a dud on this album.
I don't think there's really a dud either, but really the peaks for me aren't even nearly as close to as high as Graduation.
It's more of like the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah.
And yours is...
It ain't no Himalayas, bro.
It's just one big-ass mountain. But yeah, so that's why I like Late Registration. Like I said, I think we're kind of pulling hairs at this point. It's like...
For sure.
We're splitting hairs.
And pulling hairs, too. It's very painful.
Yeah, nose hairs. Okay, so that was...
That was my number 5.
My number 4 was Yay. What was yours?
My number 4, The Life of Pablo.
Alright, so we've talked about that.
Yep.
My number 3 was Late Registration, which we just talked about.
Yep. And my number 3 is College Dropout.
Okay, so...
Is that what you had number 1?
That's my number 1.
Okay. State your case.
Well, do you have My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy as number 2?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that one first?
Sure.
Because we both had it at number 2.
I think as far as if we're going to say which Kanye album like has 0 duds, for me that's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
And also, if you want to talk about nostalgia, like that definitely plays
part.
Like, this was my first like Kanye West experience.
It's like college dorm room.
Yeah.
Yes.
Listen to
very
that shit.
Vivid memories of listening to that album. And I mean, if I was going to try to grade this one objectively, it would be at the top of my list. If I was going to say in terms of like risk, just overall like comprehensive feel and thematics, like everything is on point. Everything is like perfection in that sense. Like there's
as far as like risk go, like Runaway, like I'm gonna make a 8-10 minute song with like the last half of it is just like crooning into an auto tuner, like illegibly, like, for 5 minutes. And it's awesome. Like, and
the realness in the lyricism of this album is also there. Like it's like I can't really poke any holes in this one.
And also, it was right after 808s. People were like, "Is Kanye out of the game now?"
Yeah,
and he's like, "Fuck no, I'm not. Like, here's my magnum opus, essentially."
Yeah, made Nicki Minaj.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah, all of the like features on here are all pretty excellent, except for Jay-Z.
Yeah,
and
dude. Jay-Z is the most overrated rapper of all time.
I think...
Do we agree on this?
There was a time and place where I think he was good.
Yeah.
Like, when he first came out. But, like, he's not a god anymore. Like,
no. Well, definitely not now. I think
even back then, like, especially, like I can't believe he lost... Or he beat, like, Nas as, like, the king of New York.
Stupid.
Like, they're not even on the same, like, playing field. Okay.
We're not going to talk about Jay-Z.
But,
he doesn't deserve to be on this podcast.
For shame.
The Kid Cudi feature obviously is like that song is great.
Gorgeous is like one of the best Kanye songs ever.
Oh yeah, I agree. All the Lights, one of my favorites of all time.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at this right now, each one is just excellent.
Yeah.
Some people think that the album kind of peters out in its latter half, like after Runaway.
I can see that a little bit. Yes, a little bit front loaded.
Yeah, I think
but
Blame.
not
But
duds.
I love Blame Game.
I love
It's
Blame
it's
Game,
it mixes it up and it has that kind of crazy outro with Chris Rock.
And Lost in the World, while not one of my favorites on the album, is definitely super interesting and different.
Yeah, and as somebody, you loved like electronic music at that time.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much all like just crazy. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It like takes a bunch of little pieces of the songs that have happened before and mixes them all together. Like it's like the wave is crashing into itself. And it's a great like Lost in the World and Who Will Survive in America. I think it's like a crazy way to end the album. And it's just kind of like it like kind of is all crashing in on itself and it's, like dies out with like a bang essentially.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And for me, like Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy are like so close together, really. But there's just something about Graduation that really like some of those songs like hit me harder than just about anything else, and it just really that kind of puts it just a notch above for me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't know how much more I can praise this album. Definitely, it like is. There are like chapters in my life where I can like define my like album I was listening to, and this is like one of them.
That's
like,
true.
Defined a very specific moment in my life.
But what puts College Dropout ahead of it for you?
So College Dropout for me, it maybe goes back to that feeling of like warmth or something. It's so earnest. Like Kanye wasn't a superstar at this point.
Okay.
He came out. He was coming out of nowhere. He like the very last song, Last Call. Kind of he describes how this album came to be essentially, and how scrappy he was, and how hard he had to work to make this happen. And nobody, at the time, like everything was about like crunk and like ignorant shit. And this was just so
complete curveball and something different. And my favorite Kanye is the like scrappy Kanye.
Yeah.
For sure. Maybe he can't even. I don't know if he can do that now. I don't know if he can pull that off as much.
Yeah, because now most things probably come to him easily. He doesn't have to work hard to get a record deal.
But back then, the way he talked about, you know, what he had to go through to make himself who he is inspirational.
Yeah,
man.
and like working at the Gap and then like making beats all night. And trying to sell them and trying to like playing the game. And like back then, you had to play the game to be a famous musician. Like you couldn't just post on SoundCloud and become a famous rapper. Like,
exactly. I mean, Spaceship. The song Spaceship sums it up like pretty well.
Yeah.
And he lays it out there, and I love that.
Spaceship is was like one of my go-to like motivation songs.
It is. I listen to it at the gym and I go ham.
Yeah, it's like if you want what you want, you gotta put in the work to do it.
Exactly.
And and you could tell that he believes what he's saying on that in Spaceship when Kanye has his little verse when he's like talking about making 5 beats a day and stuff like that, and you
5 beats a day. Or for 3 summers.
Yeah.
I deserve to do these numbers.
Yeah, you can just tell his passion behind it is pretty crazy.
Definitely. As far as passion goes, like, he is all in on this one.
And also Kanye's, not that he lost his sense of humor in his later albums, but like some of the skits on this is pretty funny.
I think he's always been humorous.
Yeah, like Late Registration. I forgot to mention the skits in Late Registration. I love those ones. Like Broke 5 Broke. And but yeah, like new workout plan and stuff. Like that song is awesome. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, I think every song on this album is like a 9 or a 10. Okay. Which I think pushes it above maybe My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy for me. Yeah. I just love. I can listen to every song in this and love each one. Yeah. And it has that kind of older feel to it that is comforting to me. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I think this might be the album that Kanye personally raps the best on.
Mm-hmm.
As far as just rapping, like not even thinking about the production, just like Kanye is a rapper. I think this is his best work.
And I think I wonder why that is. Like maybe because he had been doing it, like he had his whole, I don't know, 26, 27 years, however old he was, like writing this stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of it was like poetry maybe he had done for a while and stuff.
Yeah.
And so maybe he had just a
kind
very good back catalog.
Accumulation of life's work that you're putting into a project that's so important to you.
Whereas like late registration and graduation, they probably the writing process probably for those had to happen right after this album.
Yeah, quicker and then it's your job, it's a responsibility,
exactly.
It's not a passion project. I think those things probably play into it a little bit.
Is it kind of like a cop-out to say an artist's first album is their best album? Like, it's true.
Yeah, that's why you're wrong, man.
It's very true a lot of times, though.
I think it is true a lot of times, I think for the reasons that we laid out.
Yeah, it's like a passion at that point, rather than...
Yeah, that makes a difference. I think you can, as a listener, you can feel...
Yeah, there are definitely bands that break that mold. Like,
for sure.
Nirvana, Radiohead.
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head, but a lot of the bands I listen to, I enjoy their first album the most. Not to say that the other ones are worse or anything, but it's like always the first album.
Yeah. Menzingers breaks that.
Yeah, Menzingers. Yeah, it's not a true
rule. But yeah, I think if you were gonna more often than you would expect, it's not like evenly distributed in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's our list, man.
That is.
What's do you have like a most underrated or most overrated? I guess Life of
Pablo. Song or
album? Album or song?
Most overrated, I would say Yeezus.
Yeah.
Or Life of Pablo.
Mm-hmm.
Most underrated, I would say Late Registration.
Fair. I think, Late Registration, pretty underrated, maybe even by me. But I think Life of Pablo is the most underrated.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's better than people give it credit for.
Mm-hmm. And that was kind of, it was weird how he kept changing the... Did you listen to it, like, in each iteration of the
I admit that I didn't necessarily do that. Not with each iteration. I mean, I did listen to it a few times across each change or update, but I'm not well-versed in each of the little modifications
I wonder how much
he made.
they changed, if it was even
I think it was
noticeable.
Little tweaks here and there and little things that he did differently on some of the songs and cleaning up some of the production or, cleaning up, but just making it a little bit, spending more time on it and things like that, but nothing vastly different that I noticed at least. And what about the Kanye live experience? We saw him together.
Did we did talk about that on our live. We're doing this so much that we can talk about things
we're just
from past podcasts.
Repeating stuff over and over again.
He puts on a damn good live show. I wonder if he's going to tour for Ye.
I don't know. Maybe with like Kid Cudi and Pusha T.
That'd be cool if he did. Oh yeah, and Pusha T, they did like a try.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
Yeah, I would go to that. But yeah, he puts on a great live show. Dude is a legit professional, consummate performer.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. The only person I've heard that is better than him is Taylor Swift.
They both put a ton of energy and work into their live experiences, and from firsthand experience, Taylor Swift's live experience is incredible, and her and Kanye both do really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, I still think of whenever I think about live shows I've been to, it's so crazy. Like Kanye, I've never seen anything like that. Him floating around the crowd on his magic carpet stage, with the lights coming out the lead.
Yeah,
it was. I would never imagine that in a million years.
Right.
Myself, that's true. Creative genius, essentially.
True to the Kanye brand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see him again.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
It'd probably be, but though if he toured with Ye, it would probably be stripped down. Like, I don't see him, like, floating around on a magic carpet being like, I thought about killing you.
No, I mean, I'm sure he'll do something different somehow, and it'll be awesome, but we'll see. Anyways, anything else to add?
No, do you?
No. The listeners got our beautiful lists.
Yeah. Enjoy that list, you filthy animals.
Sick
yeah, eat it up. Eat it up.
You love lists, don't you? Turd.
I'm gonna keep that. Because nobody is ever gonna get to the end.
No. FTMB out.
FTMB out.